For me, it's about the law and people. How am I supposed to quantify the value of these things when I don't have evidence?
I'm sorry.
And how people can resolve their problems and just be better for it.
Justice with passion.
I always knew I was going to go into law because I tried to see everybody's point of view in an argument. You say one thing, she says another. So who am I to believe?
Justice with truth.
Either you make the decision or I make the decision. You won't like mine.
This is Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Danny Gordon is suing Mark Thibodeau in the amount of $2,700. Mr. Gordon claims he let his friend crash at his place and says his TV, laptop, and stereo were stolen because the defendant didn't lock the front door.
Okay, gentlemen, Mr. Gordon, you are suing Mr. Thibodeau, your friend from college, for $2,700.
Yes,
correct?
Your Honor.
What happened?
Well, Your Honor, I'm from Queens, New York. I'm a hard-working man. And I've been in LA now for 8 years. I'm a music producer.
New York.
And I call myself being a good friend.
Okay.
Letting the defendant stay with me for a week while he tries to find a job. The defendant has one job. I give him the code for my door, and one day I'm at work, he forgets to put the code in or just frankly just leave the door open, and then
forget.
And then I had a TV, a laptop, and a stereo stolen from my house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, Mr. Thibodeau. So the $2,700 comes from where?
Yeah, well, the insurance company is only covering 10% of the damages. So
Okay. So you had to buy brand new ones?
Yeah, $3,000 of damages. They're giving me $300.
Okay.
He needs to
Do you
pay
have
the other
any proof
$2,700.
I ain't
of
paying
do
nothing.
you have any, one second, Mr. Thibodeau, do you have any proof of what was stolen, police report? I have a copy of the police report, but
Yes, Your Honor.
anything that to show me how out of pocket you have incurred damages of $2,700?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
You can give them to Cinder. Okay. So then what do you think happened? Had he stayed with you before?
Yeah, he stayed with me before. This has never happened before. I've been at this particular residence for 2 years.
And he stayed at this particular
No,
residence?
he hasn't stayed at this residence
Okay.
before. He stayed at a previous residence.
Okay. And then did you explain to is it a complicated lock or
A high school graduate could understand this, Your Honor. It's the simplest thing. It's
okay,
a
so
four-digit
tell me about
code.
it. I understand you texted him as well.
Yeah. I
Okay.
texted him. You know, I have proof for the text, but I let him know what the code is.
Okay,
All he
okay.
has to do is put the code in. He puts the code in, the door locks. The only way that it won't work is if you put the wrong code in.
Huh, interesting.
Not really.
Okay, so then he failed to put the right code in. He had the code because we have proof that you sent him the text message
Yes, ma'am.
with the code. So then what happened, Mr. Thibodeau, on this day that the robbery happened?
Yes, Your Honor. So my name is Mark Thibodeau. I noticed my friend D over here, he stays in LA, and they had an upcoming job opening out there. And I'm like, oh, my friend stay in LA, so why not take the opportunity to leave home and find something bigger and slight
I get it. So
and better.
you wanted just to come and interview for the position, right?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you thought you can hang out with your friend. Understood.
Yes.
So then what happened?
So I called him and I'm like, hey D, can I come out there? I have a job interview. I only need about a week. And he said, yeah, sure. So he was open arms like always.
Exactly.
So I come out there, and the day of the incident, I noticed that he's at work by the time I wake up, and then I hear this alert on my phone saying it's a flash flood warning.
Oh,
And-
in Los Angeles when we had those bad floods, okay.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Uh-huh.
And with me being from New Orleans, I'm already used to that, and I know what to do. Like
Okay, you
I
thought
have to
that
hurry
LA was like Louisiana, right?
somewhat, because I came out here, I'm like,
So
it
you
never
got
rained out
scared.
here.
It was natural. You're from Louisiana. You got scared. Oh my God, a flash flood warning. You
Yes.
didn't understand it's for like the mountains and some areas near the beach. And
Yes, I was
you
a
didn't
little
get it.
nervous.
It didn't affect LA, but of course. So you immediately thought, oh my God.
Yes. So I had to move my car from off of the street because he only have resident parking, so I couldn't
So
park
why did
there.
you have to move your car? Because you were afraid of the flood, or why?
I was afraid of the flood, but also it was like on an incline. So I had to move it up.
Oh.
It's a little bit of rain, man. Come
I
on.
see. I see.
Yes.
I see. And what happened when you left the house?
And on his door, he has a keypad lock, which you have to put in a code. I was putting the code in, and it wasn't locking. So I'm calling him, and I'm texting him like, hey, did you change the code or anything? It's not working. But I didn't hear from him. So I tried it one more time, and it had a click on the keypad. I'm like, all right, so it probably locked. So, and plus, I'm going to be right back. So the 5 minutes turned to 45 minutes for me going to find a spot to park my car because they had police officers. They was outside redirecting traffic.
There's an accident or something?
No, because of the flash flood warning. It was already drizzling just a little bit.
Okay.
So
It's being dramatic. It was barely raining.
Okay.
You wasn't there.
Was it really raining hard outside or no?
Coming up on Justice for All.
So I go upstairs and downstairs to see if there's anything else missing or if there's anybody else in the house. When I see that nothing's there, I call the police.
You left the house open?
And later,
I was understanding as he had told me that this was the nature of his job, but I was even more upset after it happened the second time.
Yeah, so second date, I figured I should make it up, right?
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Danny Gordon, who is suing Mark Thibodeau for property loss.
It wasn't rain, it was just drizzling.
Thank
so the
Thank
cops
you.
weren't there because of the flash flood.
No, they were there redirecting traffic.
Okay, something
yes.
happened where there's an accident you don't know.
Yes,
so it
ma'am.
took you 45 minutes to go
find a spot
around,
and come
find
back
a- and find-
back to the
okay.
house.
So when
once
you came back, what happened?
So when I found a spot, it took me like a 10-minute walk. So when I got back to the house, I see his door is open, and I'm like, he's at work, so who could this be? And plus, he wouldn't even leave the door open like that. So I go in there, I see no TV on the wall, his stereo is missing, and the laptop where he keep on his desk is missing.
Exactly.
And plus, it's a townhouse, so I go upstairs and downstairs to see if there's anything else missing or if there's anybody else in the house. And then when I see that nothing's there, I call the police and make a statement.
You left the house open?
I didn't leave it open, Your Honor. It was when I put the passcode in, it wasn't really working. It sounded like it was locking and unlocking, so it probably had like a malfunction or something.
So was your car in such danger that you felt you had to leave the house open? Tell me exactly what you went through to lock the door.
So I go outside, I close the door, and I put the code in. And
Right
then,
away?
Yes, ma'am.
You
Once
close the door
yes,
and you put the
have to
code
pull
in.
the door, you have to hold on to it while you put the code in, then you press the lock button. And I was doing that.
Those weren't the instructions that he gave you.
Thank you.
To put the lock, to
No,
put the
those
code
weren't the
in.
instructions. Those weren't the exact instructions he gave you. Do you want to read the text message
Yes,
he gave
ma'am.
you? Do you have it?
Yes, ma'am, I have it.
Okay, the one that says, "Hey, Mark."
Yeah.
Did you read that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, read it to me.
So it says, hey, Mark, the door lock is pretty easy to use. Just close the door, wait for the numbers to light up, and then hit 444-7198.
Well, you got to change that now, okay?
Yes.
All right. So, okay, did you do exactly that?
Yes, ma'am.
No, you didn't. You said you closed the door and immediately punched the number in.
Yes.
You didn't wait for the numbers to light up. So of course it's not going to lock. Or it's going to go berserk, not accept the number, if that's not what you're supposed to do, Mr. Thibodeau.
That's a lot of numbers when I'm in a rush.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Because you were
Thank you.
afraid that your car...
Just
Could
out
it
of
be
just-
that you were like in a 2-hour parking or something like that and you were going to get a ticket?
Not in that area.
Or like in 3-hour parking, because that's very common in LA, nice little places where Mr. Gordon lives. They have cute little townhouses. They only let you, park outside for a certain amount of time. Sometimes we have those restrictions. Could it be that that was it? And you were in a rush and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to get a ticket.
I mean, it could be, but it's not.
It could be, but it's not.
Yes,
you were afraid
ma'am.
of the flash
Yes,
flood
the-
warning.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, gentlemen, nothing else to say? Mr. Gordon, nothing else?
Your
Mr.
Honor,
Thibodeau?
I would never want to bring this defendant here, but
We here.
Well, you should have paid me. You should have just like.
I don't have to pay you when it don't make sense.
It's okay.
It
all
wasn't
right.
my fault.
Gentlemen. But that's the problem, Mr. Thibodeau. When we're grown-ups, we have to take responsibility for our actions. We have
I
to
did.
say...
I called the police.
Thank goodness you called the police.
Wow.
Right? That's a very good grown-up thing to do. But we have to go back to before you called the police, okay? So what he's saying is that you were negligent in locking his door, and because you were careless about locking his door, you left his door wide open, and therefore somebody came in and stole his TV, his laptop, and his stereo. Hence, he was out of pocket $2,700. We have the canceled check. We have everything that he had to buy new stuff, right? So it's my job, it's his court job to see, is the defendant responsible for his damages? And the resounding answer is yes. Yes, you are, because you did not act reasonably. You failed to read the instructions on how to lock the door. Yes, there was a flash flood in LA when we had horrible rain, but nothing was going to happen to your car. So I tend to believe there's something else going on that you're not telling the court. But regardless of that reason, you actually left the house. It was not reasonable for you to leave the house and leave it open for anybody to walk in. But for you doing that, nothing would have ever been stolen. So based on the evidence, I'm going to have to grant the plaintiff's claim because I find that you, Mr. Thibodeau, as cute as you are from Louisiana, were not reasonable. You didn't lock the door. You didn't follow instructions. And hence, this is why we're here, all right? So I know $2,700 is a lot of money, but that's what grown-up mistakes make us pay, okay? You should have been more careful. This was not your house. You were an invited guest, and you should have waited, and you should have figured out nothing was wrong with your car. If you went and checked on it quickly, even a parking ticket would not have been worth it, okay? Parking ticket, $2,700. I don't know. Anyway, based on the evidence, as stated previously, I will rule in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant will reimburse the plaintiff damages in the amount of $2,700. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All rise.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $2,700.
You know I wasn't trying to do this. This is a waste of my time. I actually have real things to do.
It wasn't my fault.
Bro, you look dumb. Like, what are you talking about?
Thank you. Go ahead.
Coming up on Justice for All.
We go to another drive-through, our second one, and then I was like, fine, you need something to eat, right? We'll get something. I suggested a gas station, which angered her like a lot.
You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Josh Leary is suing Nadia Davenport in the amount of $1,260. Mr. Leary claims he lost out on a day's pay because his date insisted on getting food before driving him to work and says she owes him for lost wages. The defendant is countersuing for $560.
Okay, Mr. Leary, you are suing the defendant for $1,260, and Ms. Davenport, you are countersuing for $560.
Correct.
All right, so why don't you start, Mr. Leary?
Sure. I'm an IT specialist for my job. I have to be on call, and I make this rather clear in my dating profile. Nadia saw my dating profile. I thought we were hitting things off. We had texted. So we had scheduled a first date. I thought it would be fantastic, but my boss texted, and sadly, I couldn't make it.
Okay,
I
so
let them know. On the first day, I actually have it in evidence here.
Okay, give
the
your
text.
evidence to Cinder, go ahead.
Yes.
So you canceled the first date, is that true, Ms. Davenport?
Yes.
All right.
Very last minute.
Very last minute, so I imagine you were pretty upset.
I was upset, but I was understanding as he had told me that this was the nature of his job. But I was even more upset after it happened the second time.
Yeah, so second date, I figured I should make it up, right? So I offered to pay and go to a nice place. She offered to drive me in her new car that she had bought, so I accepted. We started going to our new place. I got another text message, sadly, right as we were pulling in, saying that I had to be there on site today.
All right, and what happened?
Coming up,
So we go to this new spot after I have to cancel this nice restaurant. We go to sushi place. The only problem is she wants ramen.
you're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Josh Leary, who is suing Nadia Davenport for negligence.
So we go to this new spot after I have to cancel this nice restaurant. We go to sushi place, and the only problem is she wants ramen.
So you got picky and said, I don't want to eat there, right? So then what happened next, Mr. Leary?
Well, I was very, nervous, honestly. I was thinking about my job and how I was going to be late. What ended up happening was they ended up calling another guy in, and he gets the full day's rate instead of me.
Okay.
So I'm worried about that.
$1,260 is the day rate you get?
Yep. And
All
I'm
right.
super worried about that, so I suggest maybe you can just drop me off at my job site, right? And she agreed to, but first she said she had to stop at a drive-thru. We go there, they didn't have anything good enough, and then a whole other drive-thru on top of that.
All right, so then what happened, Mr. Leary? So then you stayed with her.
We go to another drive-through, our second one, and then I was like, fine, you need something to eat, right? We'll get something. I suggested a gas station, which angered her like a lot.
So you decided to hang out with her.
No, I was still trying to get to work. Everything was trying
Well,
to
you
get
were
there.
dependent on her to drive you. Why was she responsible in taking you to work?
Because I was in her car.
So you could have gotten out of her car and gotten yourself to work. You're basically saying that she has a duty of care to you. She owes you a duty to act reasonable, and because she failed to act reasonable, you were damaged and you have damages, right?
Yes.
So how did she have a legal obligation to act reasonable towards you?
I see what you're getting at. So when my boss sent me the text, she agreed that she would be able to drive me to the office site.
That's not a duty.
Judge Perez's verdict when Justice for All returns. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez.
Ms. Davenport, in the same breath, what legal duty did he have towards you?
The reason why I'm suing is because his people got in contact with me first. Well, one of his people contacted me through email saying that he was suing because I was the reason why he didn't have a day's worth of pay.
So you decided to countersue? So you really
Well, I didn't want to
mean it?
come here not know, I didn't understand why he felt that he was obligated that money from me. So if that's his argument, then I don't see how my argument wouldn't keep up.
So tick for tat, that's it. He's suing me, I'm going to sue you right back?
Well, I'm just trying to get my argument out.
That's what you're just telling me.
No, but
It was
my
tick
argument-
for tat. You're like, oh, he sued me, so I'm going to sue him too. So basically, it's a baseless countersuit. So perfect. All right. So based on the evidence, I will deny your claim, Mr. Leary, in $1,260. As I already explained, no legal duty to do anything on behalf of the defendant, and I am denying your counterclaim of $560 because you told me it was bogus. Simple as that. Good luck to you both.
All rise.
Judge Perez has ruled both claims have been denied. This has been a production of Allen Media Group.